Shiva, I am your father.
Yes, I know. So, hello everyone and welcome back. Today we're going to talk about how a real lightsaber fight would actually look like. Because, of course, we're all used to those massively exaggerated strikes and spins and stuff like that from the movies, but that's already bad enough in a real fight with steel swords, but it's actually even worse in a fight with lightsabers because, well, lightsabers weigh basically nothing, which means that the amount of speed you can get in a lightsaber is extremely big, and if someone wants to try to do one of those hits or a spin or something like that, your opponent would have a ton of time to react and just quickly attack you before you manage to finish your attack. So I went ahead and made these lightsaber analogs. So they are basically bamboo sticks with this rubber thing at the end just to make them a little bit safer. And this is a lightsaber analog because it is very, very fast and easy to use. And so we tried to spar a little bit with these, and we very quickly found out that, of course, the way they are fighting is completely absurd. But not only that, but just fighting with it as a normal steel sword is very absurd in itself too. Because a normal steel sword, you'd hold it like this and do like strikes and stuff like that. Now, when you're using such a light sword, you can be way faster and retreat your blade way less. You don't even need to retreat it up here, you can just retreat it up there and just do a quick strike like that. Extremely easy to fight with, and it would be way more realistic if you did just those quick strikes like that without barely moving your lightsaber. So, what we found out was that the best way of fighting with a lightsaber would be very similar to fencing. So when you're fighting with a rapier or a foil, and you basically stand like this and just do thrusts and stuff like that. That's fencing. Now, the best way of fighting with a lightsaber is a little bit different to that because, of course, a lightsaber has the ability to cut, not only to thrust. And this allows for way more opportunities because instead of just only being able to go for thrusts as you would be able to do with a foil, you can also go for these small slashes. There's also another difference between the foil and a lightsaber, and that is the fact that the lightsaber has no guard, which means that hitting your opponent's hand is extremely easy when it is not easy to hit your opponent's hand if he's using a foil, because, well, he's gonna have a guard. And that also changes the way you're fighting with your lightsaber, because instead of trying to go for these thrusts in his body, you don't need to do that. You can simply just go for a quick strike at his hand. And, well, of course, a hit to the hand isn't necessarily lethal or deadly, but if you cut off his fingers, he'll lose his lightsaber. And, well, if he has no lightsaber and you have you've basically won the fight. So, really, the best way of fighting is very similar to fencing, and then just go for slashes at his hands. That is, in terms of what I've found, the best way of fighting with a lightsaber. Going for thrusts at the body, as you would do with a foil or a rapier, is quite unnecessary because it makes you come very close to your opponent, and allows him to much more easily not only hit your body but also your hand, because your hand is very exposed. So definitely the first target to go for when you're fighting with lightsabers is the hand. And when we were fighting, we weren't even trying to come so close to opponent to even be able to thrust at the body, because there was no purpose. We could just hit the hand. So we also tried to make one of these with a guard, and of course that made it way better, because then the the one with the guard, could not get hit on the hand because, well, he had a guard, and he could still hit his opponent on the hand because his opponent had not a guard. And that just meant that each time we went for the hand, our hand was protected, our opponents were not, so extremely easy to hit our opponents. Then we also tried with a longer of these lightsabers. So the other ones are precisely 1 meter long. This is 1 meter 50. And this was really a game changer because, well, you have so much reach that you can just hit your opponent's hand or even hit his body without him being able to come close to your hand. So that was really a big improvement. And, well, it is also an extremely big advantage in fencing, whether it's with foils, rapiers, or any of that kind of sword. It's an extremely big advantage to have a longer sword than your opponent because, well, you have so much reach that you can hit him before he's able to hit you. So that was really an improvement to the lightsaber. So yeah, in my opinion, the best way of fighting with a lightsaber is to use it as you would use a foil, so basically fencing. Of course, it has a problem that it doesn't have a guard, so you need to be cautious with your hand, but still it's the best way of fighting. The biggest improvement you can bring to a lightsaber is to improve the length. Improving the length was an even greater advantage than having a guard. We also tried a lightsaber with a guard versus a long lightsaber, and the long lightsaber won because, yes, it couldn't hit the hand so easily, but it could still hit the legs and the body rather easily. So definitely improve the length of your lightsaber. That is the first thing you should do to improve a lightsaber, and they should have done in the movies. And the next thing is to give it a guard. Even the simplest guard, even just a disc on the front here, as like Japanese swords like the katana have, that would be a massive improvement. Only that. Of course, it would be even better to give it like a crossguard, like something like this, and even better give it a basket hilt. That would be a massive improvement. Not as much as the length, but still a massive improvement. So yeah, anyways, that's how you should fight with a lightsaber. That is how they should fight in the movies, just fencing style, going for strikes and thrusts at the hands. That is definitely what they should do in the movies. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.
Well, this is the channel you're looking for. Subscribe, hit the bell button, and press like.